Hello, it's me, Crazy Rebecca. I'm going to show you how to make this boho bag like Tmeyers does. Well, sort of. She's better than me, I admit it. But look at my bag. You can make this bag too. I think I'm comfortable enough to try to show you how I do Tmeyers boho bags. I will link to her channel in the description. I'll link her channel and a specific video that you can go see how she does it, because she explains it way better than I ever could. I'm going to tell you that right now. So what you're going to need some fabric for the outside of your purse. You're going to need a lining fabric. I'm choosing this one because I have a lot of it. That's the only reason. It's a pretty good quilting cotton somebody gave me. That's for the lining. Okay, you need, of course, some pins. Is it a bear or is it a porcupine? It's a porcupine. Don't judge me. You need a good pair of scissors. You need your crafting scissors to cut paper with. You need various trims. I'm using this trim from India and this trim from I don't know where. I thought about using this, but it didn't work. I might try to put this on it. Other than that, oh, you need a bunch of ribbons and stuff to coordinate with this. I didn't have any peach, so I'm just going with ecru and blues. I like this too. This is Hobby Lobby. Okay. You're going to need some paper, and you're going to need to cut a rectangle from your paper 13 by 12. Let's do it how she does it. 13 inches, 12. Okay, and this is a little bit smaller than what she does, but considering I don't have very much lace and stuff, I thought maybe a slightly smaller bag would help me out. And I'm going to decide when I get to that point whether I'm going to put a flap on it or not. My fingers. Okay. So I traced around my 12 by 13. Let me show you what I did with this one. I centered this. It's going to be the back. So this is our front. And I think I am going to put a flap, but we'll make the flap pattern in a second. So if there's a flap, it's going to come down. So you don't want this up here because it's going to cover it. So you're going to put it down here. And pin it in place. And I'm going to, I haven't decided if I'm going to go here or do a zigzag at the edge, but she uses a gold thread. I don't have any gold thread, so I'm going to go with this kind of yellow, but it blends in pretty good. Maybe I'll go here with a straight stitch. And when I'm done with that, I'll find a thread to match that, and I'm going to put it right here. You want to keep these beads away from the edge. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and trim. I hope those are individually. Okay. So why don't I go ahead and pin that, even though I have to do a thread search. I need to go somewhere and buy a big thread thing in a bunch of colors. I'm trying to use up what I have though. So if it ain't perfect, so what? Right? Okay, I'm gonna sew this and I'll be back. Okay, it's all sewed on, and I added this gold gimp. Even though I found the perfect thread color, it just wasn't extra enough. So I added the gimp. So now we're going to deal with our fringe, and I think I want it 10 inches long. So let's see. Oh yeah, 10 will be fine. So let's see how long these are. Okay, if I start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, here. Good, I get 4 pieces out of these. Tmeyers uses leather coats, among other things. I have leather coats. They are buried in the basement. Same with the lace.
Gray ceiling on the earth, well it lasted for a while. Take my thoughts for what they're worth. I've been acting like a child. Your opinion, what is that? Just a different point of view. What else can I do? I said I'm sorry, yes I'm sorry, yeah. I said I'm sorry, but what for? If I hurt you, then I hate myself. Don't wanna hate myself.
Not sure on this how it's going to work. It's a curtain. I'm going to do a slice and dice with it. Okay. Take off the ends. Oh no, I have a rogue marker somewhere. Great. Just great. There it is. Oh my goodness. Disaster waiting to happen, Rebecca. So then I'm going to slice off this edge. If this don't work, it ain't no big deal. I'm not measuring, I'm just Are these going to fray? Probably. Do I care? Probably not. Let's see how long they are if we cut them in half. Not long enough. I will trim those later. Okay. Next thing, we'll be putting the fringe layout, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, we're going to lay out our fringe just to see what it looks like. You want to start about a 1/2 inch in because you're going to sew. I like to lay my similar pieces first. You're not going to put them this high up when you sew them, but that's just for now. Kind of overlap them. Just getting a layout and to see if we need to find something else to put on there. Okay, instead of music here, I want to give you one of my favorite Firefly quotes. Y'all watch Firefly, don't you? Well, anyway, Jane says to Captain Mal, 10% of nothing is, let me do the math here. Nothing into nothing, carry the nothing. And Captain Mal says to Jane, Jane, your mouth is talking. You might want to look to that. So, throw me your favorite Firefly quotes, please. I want to know. Now, I have all this, so when I go to sew, if I need more to fill in, gonna be no problemo. Now, I'm gonna take this out like that. I'm gonna carry this over to my, I'm gonna clean that off. There, that. I'm gonna clean that off. Take this sewing or pressing pad over there, and I will grab one by one and see how it goes. Well, I was working in my bathing suit, but I put a dress on so y'all didn't have to like gross out or nothing. Okay, here's my front. Here's where I'm gonna start. You have to put them this way. Okay, and since this is the part I want to see, it has to go down like that because it's going to come like this. Okay? Again, I will link you to Tmeyers. She does a much better job at explaining than I ever could. Bless her heart. And you overlap. I think what I'm going to do, well, I don't know. I'm just going to sew. Wait, this has to go this way. See, because I want this side to show when I flip it this way. Okay, remember that, Rebecca. Yes, ma'am. You just sew a few stitches. And yeah, you're going to have some repeats. That's okay. That's life. Actually, I want this one first. Put your press-up foot down, sew a few stitches. It's all going to get, this part up here is going to get caught in the seam later, so really, it doesn't matter, because who's going to say that fringe is backwards? If they do, hit them with your boho bag. You have my permission. This, and call it good for now. Okay, that wasn't so painful, was it? So here's what our fringe looks like. Okay. Stop, I say. So I need to trim. Maybe a few more here. Oh, I think it's okay. See, so it'll be sewn. Ugh. I'm not going to put any on the sides on this one. We're just trying to make, you know, a basic bag. And then we will play around. So you have to put it up like this. Make sure it's straight. Get it away from the sides. I think you don't have to do this. I'm just going to put a piece of washi for now. Not that it's even going to stick. Hey, I could pin it. Okay, now you take your back and you place it down like that. And you find your porcupine. And this is from Tmeyers. Pin the 4 corners first. Line them up exactly. I don't know, mine's going to line up exactly. may have to trim. Yes, I am going to have to trim. Not quite sure how that happened, but situation normal. Now you can pin it like so. And we're going to go back to the sewing machine and sew these, leaving this open. She recommends going around twice, but I want to check first and make sure that fringe is okay before I sew it again. So I'm just going to flip it right side out really quick. Yeah, I think it's okay. So flip it right, flip it back again, make sure the fringe is away from the edges. Turning it right side out, poke the corners out. Here we have the outside of our bag. Next, we're going to work on the lining with a pocket and the flap. And I just realized I should have already done the flap because you sew it here, but I guess we will make do. It's always something, situation normal. I thought I was prepared. You got to sew it back here. Okay. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the pool, and I will see you later. And yeah, we're gonna have us a good old time. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. I decided that I wanted my flap to be 7 inches wide. And now, okay, so how long do I want it? I got to remember there's seam allowance. So let's put it right there. So it's 7 by 7.5. Wonder if I should take it down another inch. No, I think it'll be okay. I just happen to have these pieces that are the right size. Oh, really? I guess that's not cut right. Okay. The pool was wonderful. Thanks for asking. So I'm gonna go like that. This fabric is really slidey. And I'm gonna come at it like that. Now we have to decide how to decorate this. Okay, this is what I decided on. This is a piece I just got from Safia, Dust Fairies. This piece was a pin, I believe. It's going right here. When I get those, I'm going to hand sew them down. When I get those sewed on, I'm going to take the back piece and lay it like that and sew these 3 sides, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's our bag so far. I see people outside. What are they doing? Okay, nothing. We need to attach this to the back, so we're going to sew it this way because it's going to flip over this way. And then after I get this sewed, the next thing we're going to do is work on the strap. I didn't have a piece of fabric that was long enough, so I have to sew these together. They are 4 inches wide. So I'm going to sew that together here. Then I'm going to fold it like this and sew on this side. I want to make it about 50 inches, and then I will lay it across my body with the bag held to it to see how long I actually want it. I think Tmeyers usually makes hers like 47 inches long altogether, so that's why I figure 50 will give me some leeway. And I know I shouldn't like just measure them to myself, but I don't know how else to do it. So here, then fold it in half like this and sew it, and then I'll show you how I turn it. So here's my tube. Okay, Tmeyers does this different. She sews a cord and has it sticking out this end all the way out the other end, but here's how I do it. Get a size 13 knitting needle. You're going to use this end of it, not this end. This end. And you fuss with this to get it started going inside out. Like that. Then you push that in and you do this. I thought this fabric was going to be rough and tough to turn, but I was wrong. Okay, now, see it's all bunched up on there? Pull it like this. And it turns it right side out. Then you got to get your knitting needle out. Just slide it down. And it comes out. I'm going to take the iron and a press pad. I want this seam to be in the middle, because we're going to put some gimp after we trim it to 50 inches. Down to the end and cut that off and get a tape measure. This is a raggedy old tape measure. $49.50. Oh my goodness, there's my seam. This piece was longer. Did not need to sew that piece on there. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this. We're gonna grab this. Oh, no, we're not. I need to sew. I'm going to sew this gimp like that on. Okay, get it. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, here's our strap. Right sides together. See that seam? That's where we're going to sew it, but right now we're going to pin it. And I hope I don't poke myself. I'm going to go off camera for just a second. And I am measuring across my body. So I need to take about this much off. Okay. Now, very carefully, making sure it's not twisted, you put this one right here. And I'm going to pin it, and I'm going to sew it, and then we're going to move on to the lining. Okay, we have our lining fabric. I've corrected. I wrote 12 by 13 because that's what she uses, but I know it's 11 by 12. And I had, we'll just use this one. I know this is fairly straight, so now she says, did that even mark? She says. Okay, good enough. On this edge over here, we're gonna make it a little bit bigger, just so the bag slips in it, because you'll see. You'll see. But we're gonna cut right on the line here. Now I'm going to cut about 1/4 of an inch wider. To account for the bag turning. Now it is time. No, it is not time. We're going to put a pocket. I like to use a contrasting fabric. What do I have? I have these little Scotty dogs. I'm just gonna eyeball it. How big do I want a pocket? About like that. And the easiest way is to just I'm gonna sew all the way around it leaving a little hole to turn, and then we're going to sew that to here. So I'll sew all around it. Okay, I've sewed it together. I turned it here. If you are anally inclined, you can measure. I'm not going to. I'm going to sew very close to the edge on 3 sides here. That will close up this gap. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to put those clasps on there. Or we could do it now. Why don't we just do it now? Then I can sew and then blah, blah, blah. Okay. We need 2 scraps of fabric, which I have a lot of. Why do we need scraps of fabric? You'll see. Oh, about yay big. This is going to be, I lose my words. A stabilizer. So you want this about 1.5 inches down. Let's see, let's find the middle. Inch and a half down. Is right there. Same on this one. Inch and a half down, right there. If you can't see, you can use like a white roller pen, which I have but does not work, so why am I keeping it? I don't know. And you barely snip them. You don't want to snip them too big because then it won't work. Okay, take one piece, with the right side facing the right side of the fabric. You put this fabric here like that. Put this thing on like that. She pounds hers, I don't. Like so. Take this side. Now, those should match up. And I'm going to sew down these sides. Do not sew the bottom. Do not sew the bottom. You're gonna sew this side. Double row of stitching if you feel like you need it. We'll be back. Okay, put your flap back like this. Make sure your straps are laying flat against the sides. Oh, I didn't sew the pocket. Dang nabbit. Got ahead of myself. I think I can still do it. Don't let mistakes stop you. It's just a mistake. It can be fixed. Okay, that was actually not that painful. I want it this way though. Okay. We're going to slip it over. No, do it. No, I need it inside out. Okay. Inside out. Pocket to the back. Reach in and pull this up. So here's my strap. You want the seam to match the seam here. It's going to be thick, but you can do it. Now come across. Here's your other strap. Here's your other seam on your lining. So it's right sides together. Now, I'm going to take it over and so I'm gonna put a couple more pins in. There. And right there. This is a little loose. I will work it in as I sew. Just going to sew around this way twice. Make sure your flap is down, because it's going to come up and... Where's my flap? Oh yeah, it's right here. You'll see, it'll work out. Okay, you bring the lining out. And don't add that extra on the side. If you do, just barely add any, because I had to pleat this to make it work and I don't like it. So you come down here and you turn that bottom under, and I'm turning it under about 1 inch. And I'm going to sew right across there a couple of times. Okay, my lining has been sewn. Most of the threads trimmed. A few strays. Okay. Like right there. And poke it down in there. Find my pressing pad. Yeah, my next lining is going to be exactly what it should be. I tried it your way, Tracy, and I can't get it to work. So press this down. And flip that over. Look at that. Hello. Okay, I'm going to try to get a picture in my messy room of this whole thing. Wait, can I do it this way? Come on, it's beautiful. Yeah, these are going to be raggedy, but that's okay. Look at. Hello. I'll still try to get some pictures. But thank you so much for watching and bearing with me and learning with me. And every time I do it, I learn a little bit more, and it'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I love you. Goodbye.